One quiet evening, Jesus takes his three closest disciples, Peter, James, and Jonah, a high mountain. Simply says, "Let's go up here to pray." Sounds ordinary, right? But they had no idea this climb would change how they saw him forever. They were tired. They'd been walking, teaching, healing, pouring themselves out for people. But then, right in the middle of that weariness, the extraordinary broke in. Luke 9:29 says, "As he was praying, the appearance of his face changed, and his clothes became as bright as a flash of lightning. In that moment, it was as if heaven itself opened. Jesus' face began to shine with a light not of this world. His clothes radiated, blazing like lightning ripping across the night sky. This was no ordinary prayer time. This was a glimpse into who he really was, God in the flesh. And then something even stranger happened. Two men appeared, Moses and Elijah. Yes. They had been gone for centuries, yet here they stood, shining in glory, speaking with Jesus. Why Moses and Elijah? Moses represented the law. Elijah represented the prophets, the voice of God echoing through the ages. Their presence was God's way of saying, the law, the prophets. The entire Old Testament, it's all been pointing to Jesus. Meanwhile, the disciples were stunned. At first, they were fighting off sleep heavy-eyed, but now, wide awake, trembling, overwhelmed. Peter blurts out something awkward. "Lord, maybe we should build 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah." He didn't even know what he was saying. He was simply caught up in the glory of it all. And just when they thought it couldn't get more intense, a cloud rolled in. Not fog, not mist, the very presence of God. And from within it came a voice. "This is my Son, whom I have chosen. Listen to him." Luke 9:35. That was the Father himself speaking. If there had ever been any doubt about who Jesus really was, that doubt was gone now. And then suddenly it was over. Moses and Elijah disappeared. The cloud lifted. The light faded. And there stood Jesus, looking just as he always had. But the disciples knew they had just witnessed something the world had never seen before. And they kept it quiet, at least for a while. The real question is, if you were there, could you ever see Jesus the same way again?